Hey everybody, today I'm here to talk to you about a disappearing wedding tradition, and that is the wedding introduction. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you do like these videos, please share them. Like if you're watching on Instagram, you can just click that little button that will share it to your story, and I would really appreciate that so much. And if you're getting married and looking for a DJ, go to djbenboylan.com and schedule a conversation. Okay, let's get into it. So, like I said, this video is about wedding intros and how they are one of the traditions at weddings that are disappearing. Now, not all wedding introductions are disappearing. What's disappearing more quickly are the big wedding introductions with a large wedding party where the DJ is introducing 10 couples and then introducing the couple who's getting married into the room. So let me just tell you what this is all about in case you don't know. Not everybody knows exactly what goes on in a wedding. So after a cocktail hour, everyone, all the guests, except for the couple and the wedding party, will go into the reception room usually and sit down at tables. All right, once everyone is seated, then the DJ will usually put on music for the wedding party. The DJ will put on a song and introduce them over the song. Like, okay, now we're going to start with Bob and Jeff. And then Bob and Jeff come into the room. And now we have Kim and Tom. And then Kim and Tom come into the room. And they keep doing that. And once the DJ has announced all the pairs into the room, then the DJ will, ask you to stand up or, say, here we go, I'm going to introduce the couple now. And then often with a big theatrical flair, will introduce the couple into the room. They'll have their own song. They'll run in. The music will be blasting. Everyone's screaming, going crazy. And then you go into whatever the next part of the wedding is, which is often the first dance or some kind of special dance, or sometimes they just sit down and eat. Okay, so this is disappearing. I don't get it as common as I used to. I'd say less than half of the weddings that I did last year in 2019 did a large wedding introduction with a wedding party before the couple. And I'd say, around a third didn't do any introduction at all. One reason people are getting rid of this is because it puts a certain amount of pressure on the people in the wedding party. What happens is traditionally the DJ would announce one of the pairs and they would come in and they would do something goofy like a piggyback ride or throw a beer up in the air and catch it or something. And that's good for people who are into that type of thing, but not everybody is. Not everybody feels comfortable doing that. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're not doing that anymore. Another more practical reason that they might be getting rid of introductions altogether is the couple didn't used to go to cocktail hour. So it used to be like a surprise. So after the ceremony, the couple would bounce. They would go hide somewhere, probably doing photos. And then cocktail hour would go on. The couple wouldn't go to it. And then when everyone was seated in the reception, then the couple would be introduced into the room. Everyone would see them again and start screaming and going crazy. But now couples go to cocktail hour, maybe because that's the best food they're going to have all night. I'm not sure why, but at most of the weddings I did last year, the couples went to cocktail hour. So it's not that big of a surprise anymore. After cocktail hour, they go and walk behind the barn and the DJ introduces them in, which is perfectly cool. I saw that many times, but that might be a reason why less people are doing it. Another reason is that a lot of my couples want their announcements to be a little more minimal, and they are cutting down on the older traditions in general. So as far as the announcements go, traditionally, these introductions, and some wedding DJs are still doing it this way, traditionally those introductions were done in a very theatrical way with a sports announcer voice, The DJ standing in the middle of the dance floor, raising his arm up in the air when he announces the people. And a lot of my couples just aren't into that. And also, a lot of the traditions are going away, I think, just because they've been done for so long. And young people want to do something different than what their parents did, just like their parents did something different than their parents did. So there's another one. So for my couples who had an introduction without a wedding party, it was a little more low key and a little more chill. Often they went to cocktail hour and then they would just step out, and then their guests would sit at the table, and then I would tell everyone to please be seated. I'm about to do the introduction. I would do the introduction and in a natural voice, you know, here is Sarah and Kim. And they would walk into the room. I would play their introduction music. Everyone would go crazy. And then they would go do their first dance or sit down and eat or whatever. And that's the way that I think it's going to be for a little while, until it either disappears or there's a backlash and people start doing it again. So, did you just get engaged and you're now planning your wedding? If so, what do you want to do? Do you want to do an introduction with a big wedding party? Do you want to do an introduction with just you and your fiance? Or do you want to skip the whole thing altogether? Could you let me know in the comments, please? So thanks so much for watching. Once again, if you like this video, please share it. It's really easy on Instagram to share it to your stories. And if you're getting married and looking for a DJ, go to djbenboylan.com and schedule a conversation. Thank you so much.